Coming up in this video, I've got another interview for you. This time we are joined by Max from, I'm not even going to do this justice compared to what he can do in rolling his R's in the Spanish accent, but Ron Colon. It's a rum from El Salvador blended with Jamaican rum as well. It's absolutely delicious. It's a long video, but bear with it. It's a cracking chat. We get on really, really well. And we just, there's drinks that come out. We taste the vast majority of these rums. A couple of things I want to point out here. Ron Colon Max has actually sent me all of these rums, so thank you very much. But the opinions of what you see, and you'll see my little face light up when I'm trying some of these for the first time, because I think they are absolutely delicious. You'll very quite clearly see the market that it's aimed at. It's not necessarily aimed at the neat sipping, although there's a point I'm going to make in a second, because you can quite easily sip these neat. The point they're kind of going at is like bartender friendly, mixing drinks, highballs, cocktails, and you will see my face light up with a few of these because my head just goes off in different directions. These are fantastic rums, but the point I want to make, because long-term viewers might recognize that this featured, and this is how this whole chat started with Max, when I first kind of met him this year. I've met him before, but met him at Manchester Rumfest this year. This was the rum that featured on that famous live stream that I did, blind tasting with my membership community, where I gave them a £100 rum, a £75 rum, a £50 rum, and a £35 rum. Blind tasting, as I said, they had no idea what they were tasting. They didn't even know the brands that were involved. And I wanted to get them to A, pick their favourite, but B, try and pick the £100 rum. Now, as far as I can remember, no one picked the £100 rum. In fact, most of them picked that as actually the cheapest rum that I got there. It was an SBS rum. So that's how that fared. But actually, the vast majority picked that as their favourite and actually picked that as the £100 rum. And that, boys and girls, is £35. It was the cheapest one on the night. That stuff is phenomenal. But so that's enough waffling for me. Let's dive into this chat from Max. I hit record as soon as he came on. I'm just going to roll with the first bit, because the first bit of the chat was brilliant. It was the story of how they kind of evolved. So I don't actually introduce him until sort of 5-10 minutes into the video. So we're just going to cut straight in now to Max giving you the backstory about how this all started.
We're kind of a little bit of everywhere. So UK, we are here, and we work with our distributor here. We have some nice presence across Europe as well, kind of stretching out into kind of Asia. We also operate in the US. We're around 77, 80 markets now. Yeah. But we're incredibly fortunate that part of the team, that kind of the ownership team, excel in global distribution. So and that's what we are. We are and always have been a group of industry geeks and bartenders that just came together to make this. And Pepin and Thurman, who were the founders, the original founders, they used to work together for a different drinks distributor and ended up on a big kind of bar, like Latin America, Pan Am, bar hop, basically seeding products. And one of the things that they realized when they were hopping around all these places was a very easy way to kind of communicate and click into a bartender is to order a high proof rum. Because they were roaming around ordering Smith and Cross and watching bartenders go, why on earth are these guys, these randoms just rocking in and ordering a Smith and Cross? It's not your everyday order, is it? I'll just have that dusty bottle at the back. Yeah, Smith and Cross. Yeah, that's what. It's not your everyday. So as soon as you say they were set, there it is. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So as soon as you say that to a bartender, the bartender's like, "You like high proof rum? Cool." So there's this thing that you then. It's just a wonderfully natural thing where you start talking about high proof rum and you start drinking with the bartender. And so the guys were like, hold on a minute, there's something in this. And they wanted to kind of produce a rum that was for bartenders, and it was by bartenders. So that's why the founding team and the owners that are here now, that we're all industry guys, we're all kind of bartenders or have worked within the industry for years, and that's where it's come from. Is like, hold on a minute, it's a thing where you can walk into a bar and you can talk about high proof rum, and you can just have a really nice time talking about high proof rum to bartenders. So we wanted to make a rum that was kind of by bartenders for bartenders. Wow. So that was where it all began, really.
I'm just gonna cut straight in here now, because I was intended to introduce Max, but that little sort of couple of minutes there just summed up this this brand treat. So I don't want to cut that. I don't want to get him to repeat that at all. Boys and girls, this is Max from what's the brand actually called? I'm going to butcher this. Ron Colon. Go on. How do we say it? Ron.
So the full name that you see on the bottle is Ron Colon Salvadoreno.
Yeah, see,
so that's the full name.
I'm
on
never
the
going to be able to.
Most people call it Ron Colon. Yeah. But most people call it Ron
Max,
Colon.
Thank you very much for joining me. You've sent me 7 bottles here of stuff. I can't wait to get stuck in. Long-term viewers will I can't even remember which one it is now. It's that one there, I think. We'll kind of, I've introduced that in this whole stream. You've kind of had the story for that. But that really took us all by surprise when we first tried that. And that was a phenomenal rum. And I've tried the coffee. This is actually my bottle of coffee. Max has actually sent me another one there as well. But, it's just a brand that I fell in love with, and I've spoken to Max a couple of times up in Manchester, and this year was the new banana. So Max is just going to take us through the brand, take us through what to expect. You've heard the origin story. I'm assuming it's that, but we've established it's a worldwide brand now as well. So come on, let's dive in. What is Ron? Yeah, that. Go on, say it again. Say it in that sexy rolling accent.
Ron Colon. Ron Colon.
I can't roll the arse at all. Take it away, Max. What have we got here?
Yeah. Well, what you kind of hit the nail on the head with your YouTube thing that you sent me when we met in Manchester, and we had a chat about it. Because what you said about this one, which is the high proof dark aged one, which caught everybody's. That's the one. You've got it. So. Yeah, what you said about this one, which it took everybody by surprise, right? And everybody was kind of like, I wasn't expecting that to be kind of the cheaper end with that kind of taste. And so the aim and the plan was that we wanted to make a high proof rum that was for bartenders of really high quality, that was like my term, it's not really a term, but is menuable. So in terms of, if we're talking to bartenders and we're like, look, I'd love, like, going out, chatting to bartenders, I'd love to be on your cocktail menu. Most people, when they're talking about a high proof, really nice quality rum, are thinking, well, that's probably a little bit it's going to be a bit too punchy on price to work with my GP on a cocktail menu. So we're not going to be able to get there. So what we wanted to do was make a menuable rum. Yeah. A menuable rum that the bartenders love, that they wanted to share with their customers when they came in. So that was the idea with that rum, and the blend is a plan in trying to make a really, really, really high quality rum that is interesting, different, and a bit of a blending style. So like you said, it's kind of that, well, when you pop the cork, when you lift the lid, whatever you want to call it, you get this kind of explosion of, you got to use the term funk, haven't you? You got to, it's so rummy, but like, it's there, it's really present, is that kind of Jamaican quality that we use in our blend, but it's not the predominant rum within the blend. So within that original high proof bottle, we use a 6-year-old column still rum. We use a 3-year-old pot still rum and an unaged pot still rum. So the 2 pot still rums are Jamaican, and the 6-year-old column still rum is El Salvadorian. So Yeah. So, and that's where you get that kind of, on the nose, there is that
So
kind of
I don't.
banana-y,
In
apricot-y.
my little journey, I can't. There probably is a brand, but I can't think of anything that's come out of El Salvador. And for those of you that don't, there's two things I just want to pick up there. But what Max means by menuable,
Yeah.
I'm going to translate that. Basically, what could work well
Yeah.
on cocktail menus, on bars, or selling by the shop, but mainly sort of cocktail menus. But El Salvador
100%.
is central. It's sort of North Central America. It's central. It's kind
Hmm.
of it's Guatemala, isn't it? It's just south of Guatemala, I think. So north of Panama, somewhere like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why El Salvador?
Yeah.
Where
So
did that come
it's
from?
so, and the name is kind of a bit of a tribute to El Salvador, really. And the initial kind of piece, like initially where the inspiration came from, right back when we were talking, that when Pepin and Thurman were zooming around on their bar hop, was that they kind of found El Salvador on the way round. And El Salvador isn't particularly well known for rum, really, but it's a beautiful country. It produces a fantastic amount of coffee, or
Of
fantastic
course.
coffee, and it produces a lot of wonderful sugar. So actually, what you've got being produced there is some of the great raw ingredients for making rum. And there was kind of a real love for that country right at the right conception of the product, and that's where the name comes from, because Ron Colon, or the Colon, was the old El Salvadorian currency.
Oh,
So it was replaced by the dollar in 2001, but the Colon is the old El Salvadorian currency, and the label is a Colon note. Technically, it's like a kind of
right. Oh,
a remake of
I
a
even get to
Colon.
see now. Sense.
Yeah,
Ah, hang
exactly.
on.
So it all links in to little bits of
I should
our
have
kind
good quality
of
zoom on
our
here. So
brand
hang on, if we
start.
can do that, let's see. You can kind of, I'll do the little roll there so people can see it. I genuinely hadn't cottoned onto that. There we go. Look at that. Most people
Yeah,
probably would. I'm the
and
idiot.
then no, but then like there's silly things like if you look in the top of that bottle, there's a Cologne, our little Cologne coin that
Oh,
pops
yeah.
out. If you just pop a knife in it,
Oh,
it'll
really?
pop out.
I'm rich.
So yeah, so El Salvador is a DNA part of our puzzle and our brand. It's in there right from the start. And Cihuatan is one of the main kind of distilleries in El Salvador, and that's so our kind of roots, and the reason that we blend with that rum style is because it balances really nicely. So you get this really interesting play of kind of, I like to say, kind of greener vegetal notes, and those really strong, funky, dark, like fruity, jammy notes that the Jamaican rum gives you. So you've got this nice balance of styles, rum producing
The
styles as
length on
well.
this is just huge. It's just that sort of, unmistakably. And this is, I think, what confused everyone on that live tasting is because it was unmistakably Jamaican coming off there, but there was just something extra about it, and everyone was just like, "Wow, what is that?" It's. I think this
100%.
is a stunning, stunning rum. I love this.
Thank you. Like, and that's like the
Mm.
heart warmer. Like when people go, that is just it. And when we're at the rum fests and we get some of the industry guys come over, and they're just that one, and they point at this, and they're just like that one. Oh man, that one is just so good. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we wanted. And like, and Thurman, they set out, the original was to create a rum that was by bartenders for bartenders. So when you get bartenders and industry guys just going, that it's just brilliant. That's the one for me. That's all the love they need for that product. Really, it's
I think the
wonderful.
guys at home, because I think I will have kept this in that sort of a little bit from
Mm.
you where I got the bottle out. But it's that, you know, just in case I don't, I'm pretty sure I keep it in. I'm pretty sure it worked. But it's that kind of,
Mm.
the market you're sitting at. You're going up against Smith and Cross in your own little way.
That's in our own little world. Yeah, that's it. That's our jam. Like, we our evolution and our movement from here is that we make different SKUs and different products. Number one, because we want to play around in the rum space. We want to be really innovative and do things very differently in the rum space. But number two is that that is where that high proof one sits. It sits in that idea that, our Smith and Cross is our little one that we kind of want to go against. They're the guys, the high proof Jamaican rum guys, and yeah, that was.
And
where
I think
we
there's a
wanted to be.
little sort of newsflash spoiler going to drop here. I think because obviously I'm planning videos 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance, but obviously we're shooting this.
Yeah.
I think probably a week earlier, but it's International Mai Tai Day. Now, obviously, I've got a Mai Tai video coming out, but part of my Sunday shows where I'm going to be deep diving and debunking cocktails. This is very much coming out to play for me in future Mai Tais, and I've got a little series of Jamaican comparison videos coming up that I've kind of planned.
Cool.
And this is going to play kind of a huge part in that because, it's different, but it is unmistakably sort of Jamaican legs on it, Jamaican length, but there is that sort of that sort of quirkiness to it. I think this is, and I've got used to drinking higher ABV rums now, and this for me, there's of course there's a little bit of alcohol burn on there, but it's not a feisty Ray and Nephew. All right, it's not as strong as Ray and Nephew, but not much. But it's not a feisty Ray and Nephew burn. No, it's like a lovely, warming kind of. Oh, that's nice. That's the sipping rum for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the interesting things is when we are out doing the consumer shows and stuff like that. It's really interesting because you talk to people and you kind of say. I always take this with me. I don't go to any consumer show without it because it's where we began. But when you give a sample of that, people are expecting something because they go, "Oh, what's the ABV? 55.5. Just try it." And when they take a little taste and they're like, "Oh, drink it. I can sip this and I can get to grips with it and then when we start talking, because part of tasting for me is a bit in suggestion. So when we then get chatting about it and you're like, do you smell the banana a little bit? And do you actually, there's that kind of jammy apricot-y vibe going on. And then they go, oh yeah. And we get into this flow where you can do all of that with a really high proof rum or a high proof rum and consumers can really get into it and have a taste. And that's cool, and it's just I just love it, and I love talking to people about it.
I'm totally going to butcher this as well, but the way I would love to describe that is it's high proof. It's obviously got the taste, but it's kind of got a full bodiness, but it's flipping light as well. It's not a heavy. It's not, you can tell it's not a sort of a 12 or 15-year-old that's just sat in soggy barrels it's just this light freshness to it, which I really like. I think that's one of because I like lighter rums anyway, but this just really sits home for me. This one does. Just very quickly, you say it was your first rum. There's something we haven't sort of even covered, even in the banter beforehand. So when did you start?
Yeah.
When?
So we launched our high proofed rum made for bartenders in BCB 2019 before the big COVID happened that shut bartenders down, bars down. So we went in BCB 2019, these two together. So our coffee high proof and our blue label high proof, the guys that were meant to we were going to run off into the on-trade industry and get bartenders all excited and be there, and then everything closed down.
And for those that don't know, I'm assuming we're talking Berlin, Berlin Bar Conference.
Berlin Bar Show. Yeah, Barkham and Berlin. It always gets me confused. But yeah, that's when we launched. So 2019, Bar Convent Berlin, 2 high proof rums, ready to go into the on trade.
Wow. See, when I
COVID.
first, we chatted. You were for industry people watching. We've had a little bit of banter about sort of cellar trends and working with Pete Thornton and that sort of gang. You know, pre that. But when I honestly, even though I've been in the industry like 28 years, I don't think I really come across you until not Manchester this year, but Manchester last year. Your face was familiar, so I think we've kind of probably met at Imbibe or something like that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you
Yeah,
came across as a very well established brand. And in actual fact, when I first properly met you with this, it was Manchester 2021, probably your
yeah,
first year activity of business after COVID, you know. So that's
yeah,
nuts. Obviously,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
bits
yeah, yeah.
from
That's it.
home
I
during
mean,
COVID. I get that, but you know,
hmm. Oh well, one of the things. So like, one of the things that we said when COVID hit was we were gonna we were gonna give away a phenomenal amount of booze to bartenders that were just at home. So like when that all happened, we were just sending out booze left, right, and center, rum, because we were a rum brand destined for the on trade. The on trade was closed, and there was a heap of our guys that just
yeah,
weren't working. We're just at home. So like we just wanted to just show a little bit of love. So when things were all pulling back, we were like diving head first in and going, actually, we don't care that all the bars and the clubs and the everything's closed. We just want our bartenders to taste it. So we were just all out, like head in. Um, but yeah, I suppose I've always kind of played like I was saying about my relationship with Pete Thornton when I was working on Pussers. Pete Thornton was the face of that brand in the UK. I was the dude in the background with the spreadsheets and the numbers. So,
but those
so
watching Pete Thornton, you can you'll recognise it from Black Tears, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Chat to
Yeah.
him about Black Tears; he'll blow your socks off. He is a rum guy extraordinaire. But yeah, so I was in the background. I was the guy with the spreadsheets and the numbers, and that was kind of my gig on that one, because you can't beat Pete Thornton talking about rum. I don't think. I think he's fab. So wouldn't
Sorry,
try.
there's other things going through my little brain here. I'm just trying to work through how I'm going to start the
Mm,
show and how to cut it in and stuff. The other thing, just in case
yeah,
you haven't seen it, the other thing I want to kind of emphasize here, Max is also part owner of this company as well. He's just not like a normal random bartender that we've wheeled on to talk about it. He is like heavily invested in this brand as part owner. So just in case you haven't seen that, I just wanted to re-emphasize that again. So
yeah,
from there,
yeah. This is a bit of
if that
everything
was
for
your
me.
originality, then look, it's another
Yeah,
question as well before we go into the coffee, because that's so original as well.
mm,
Salvadoreno, obviously
yeah.
that is a connection to El Salvador, but why what's Salvadoreno?
Yeah.
What's that?
Salvadoreño is like the pronunciation of it. It's the of in dialect
Right,
it is that. So El Salvador to us is
right. Ah,
it's
right.
ours. Does
Yes,
that make
perfect.
sense?
Totally perfect. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just the
yeah.
idiot here that just everything has to be dumbed down for me.
No, no, that's
Right,
me
come on
too.
then. So
Don't worry about it.
this is the original, the 55%,
Mhm.
111 proof, and this is like virtually a worldwide product. We've discussed that. Coffee.
Yeah,
I just want to kind of start this off because, as I said, this is my bottle,
yeah,
right? I have Max has very kindly
yeah,
sent me one here as well. The whole reason you guys have not seen this yet is because this completely threw me. I had no idea what this was. I went into the video thinking it was going to be like not a sweet, but like a coffee liqueur type thing. So I based the video around that, and I was massively shocked. So I never released the video because I didn't do it justice in that, and I just haven't got round to do it. Well, I started kind of
yeah,
the summer of cane juice sort of thing, so I've never actually got round to reshooting that. But come on, talk us through what that actually is.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So So those two were launched at the same time. So that was Bar Convent, Berlin, 2019. They were launched side by side. The big thing for us when we first kind of started out was there was a want to like play within the rum space. And how do you play within the rum space? Well, one of the things you can do is you can play with the flavor of it. You can play with the age of it. You can play with what you blend and how you do that, but you can play with the flavor. And one thing that El Salvador is incredibly well known for is producing coffee. It's fantastically well known for it, and it produces wonderful coffee. So as part of the kind of the brand inception and the brand development, we found a partnership with a company called Jag's Head. Now, if you look on the bottle, and I got a terrible zoom, but if you look on the bottle here, there says Jag's Head.
Where that one there?
So Jag's Head, yeah. Can you see it? There the guys are. Jag's Head, yeah. So Thomas and Andre, the father and son owners of Jag's Head Coffee, are growers and roasters. So they grow in El Salvador at a wonderfully high altitude, and they roast in Charlotte, North Carolina, and their brand is Jag's Head Coffee. Subsequently, since working in the UK, I've actually had some kind of guys in the coffee industry talk to us about this rum, because they're like, "Oh, you're using Jag's Head Coffee." Like they produce some wonderful coffee. So what we did was we teamed up with the guys at Jag's Head and basically said, we want to make a coffee rum, but the stipulation to our coffee rum is that it's not sweets and no sugar added, and it's a natural product. Like everything in our range is natural. So what we did was we then went on this kind of experimentation train of how can we get the best of Jag's Head coffee into our product in a way that the coffee is going to become a flavor note within the rum. It's not going to be the flavor of the rum. So I feel like you get the vibe.
That's what confused me.
Okay.
You totally nailed it there. Yeah. Totally nailed it, because it is like a rum. There's no other way to describe it. It's like a rum with a more pronounced coffee note to it, as opposed to a coffee flavored rum, which completely threw me when I sort of opened it and tasted it, and it was just like, wasn't what I was expecting at all. I was just like, wow, that's actually really good. How do I change this video?
Yes. Yes. Damn it, I've got to do some re-recording. So one of the things that you'll notice, like if you I think you can even see it just from like your glass with your really nice high res camera, is the color, right? So what we do to create this is we just take your high proof blue label and we steep it in a medium roasted bourbon bean coffee from Jag's Head for 48 hours at room temperature. Whole bean. We just move it around, we keep it moving, and then we rebottle.
48 hours?
Or we bottle.
Wow.
So 48 hours, room temperature, that gives us enough time. That gives the rum enough time to interact with the coffee bean, the whole bean, and take that flavor, and then we put it in the bottle. So there's nothing but contact with a roasted Jag's Head coffee bean that makes this coffee. There's no sugar, there's no nothing. So Pepin and I always talk about it as like a cold brew coffee. I mean, it's not refrigerated, but like that vibe is it's a cold brew style of making a flavor in a rum. We experimented with like grinding the bean and stuff like that, but then what you end up with is a much heavier coffee taste. And that's, again, that goes outside of the rules that we kind of stipulated when making this, was that we wanted to showcase beautiful coffee from Jag's Head, and we wanted it to sit correctly within the layers of the rum that we've made. We don't just want coffee and then like back here there might be some funky notes that we created in the high proof. It has to balance within the
it doesn't lose any of that sort of Jamaican vibe at all. So just to clarify for people at home, I think we've all got it, but it's essentially that with what Max has just said with coffee, just to kind of dumb that right now. But here's what.
Yeah. And
No sugar.
no
Here's one
sugar.
for you because you could get your bartender head on there. I've sort of got three kind of obviously neat because I like neat, but I've got kind of three serves floating around in my head now that I'm sort of trying it properly neat. Rum fashioned, obviously. I've got a sneaky suspicion that's going to go very nicely in like a rum Negroni, that kind of thing. Just a little bit like that, and also something like what am I trying to think of? Like a little riff on a Manhattan. Something like that.
Nice.
Like, how would you
cool.
like you going on about your memorable rums and all that? How have you seen other bartenders sort of play with that?
Well, whenever I walk into a bar with it, we make a Negroni.
Oh, it is.
So you've
Wow.
you've nailed it. Yeah. You've kind of like middle suggestion on the nose. Like I just love making a Negroni with it because it's got that interesting depth that plays around with sweet vermouth and Campari, and it makes something really quite interesting.
I promise you, that wasn't rehearsed.
But with like an after
that
dinner
wasn't
vibe.
rehearsed or researched.
I know, right?
That was just there was something about sort of like a jungle bird flipping out at me, but that whole Campari bitterness, that's kind of where I was going with that. And it's like I can totally see that. Totally see that.
And it's when you go, you know your stuff, don't you? So you kind of you've got that vibe, and you can kind of see where it'll go, and that's it. Like we talk about coffee Negronis. I talk about espresso tonics quite often because I like long coffee flavored drinks. I'm a really big fan of that, just in general life. So like lengthening it with tonic for me sits really nicely. Just because I'm not really
not that I'm a massive tonic connoisseur, but I have done part of what I do sort of every year is the Bartender Brand Awards judging, and I always do the mixes because I love keeping an eye on the mixes. But one thing I found this year, like this is going back to February, March time, was like actually slimline tonics have actually got. I've always avoided them, but slimline tonics have actually got quite a bit of decent flavour to them now, and actually in most cases better than their full fat versions. So, like, what would be your go-to tonic for that? What are you pouring at home?
At the minute, I think we've got Fever Tree and Fever Tree Slimline.
Sell out.
But I'm a complete sellout. I know. I very much know that. I very much know that. When back in the day and everything that we've done, when we first started with these guys, we had everything Thomas Henry.
Right.
Yeah. So we were Thomas Henry up and out. And I love Thomas Henry as a brand. I love the guys there. I don't know if you can get it in the UK anymore.
Seen it for ages,
or you can, I don't know whether it's around. No, but it's delicious. That's part of the reason I go to Berlin Bar Convent, because they have a wicked setup there, and it's so much fun. But yeah, Thomas Henry, I really like it with. But I must admit, I'm happy to say I'm a sellout. I'm a very, very normal guy who has Fever Tree in the cupboard.
So you're just going purely that with Fever Tree. That'll be an amazing sort of highball serve for you. Jobs are good.
Yeah, nice long. Yeah. I was just before we kind of sidebarred. I really like long drinks. I like refreshing long drinks, especially when on warm days. I like long, but I know I'm happy that I'm saying this. I'm taking it on me. I'm just not the biggest gin and tonic fan. So I like long rum drinks. I like long whiskey drinks as well. So if I'm going to go with the coffee, I'm going to have it long, or I'm going to have it in a Negroni, because
you know what? Now you said this, right? I kind of because I'm sort of the same. I do like simple highballs, but I like maybe doing a third ingredient, like a 3 mix thing. And I'm currently thinking like just like a little bar spoon of banana liqueur in there, or just to kind of emphasize those sort of Jamaican notes. And I'm thinking, what else would go? It's that sort of thing for me. Also, like maybe a little pie.
Yeah.
That's where my head went with the Jungle Bird, because I'm sort of screaming with like a little bit of pineapple with it, without being that sort of, pineapple juice, if you like. I just want a little note of pineapple. I think that would
Yes.
be
Yeah.
amazing in that. I'm gonna have to play with that.
Yeah. And I'm more than happy to admit that, like, whilst I have done some bartending and I've done some cocktail creation, I don't have that riff ability in my head. Like, I'm
We
more
just
than
make it
happy
up as
to.
we go along. Don't worry about it.
That's okay, as long as we're all in that together. Then that's cool,
28
right?
years I've been blagging this.
Perfect.
Come on, then. So we've got the two OGs. I know we were chatting beforehand. We weren't going to spend too much time on these, but I think we need to shout them out, don't we? There's a it's that one, isn't it? So it's the same ones, but what do you call them? Underproof, not
Yes.
underproof.
Yeah.
Lower
Yeah.
ABV.
Lower proofs. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So for those that can't handle 111 proof or 55.5, you've got a 40.5.
We've got an 81, a 40.5, yeah. So we've got a 40.5 dark aged and a 40.5 coffee infused. What you get from those two, with the dark aged, you still get a wonderful you really, really do get a wonderful amount of that carry. You get that funkiness straight away still. You get that balance that comes from not being predominantly Jamaican rum. And then from the coffee, actually, what you get is, if you really like your coffee, you get a lot more coffee from the lower ABV one, just because you haven't got that higher percentage alcohol in there. So you will notice that. But I'm aware we're talking to both kind of the general public and to the bartending community, and what you do get is, you have a 40.5% ABV rum, so actually people can drink that happy, like it's more accessible from a consumer standpoint. But then from a bartender standpoint or a management standpoint, you can put that on the menu a little bit cheaper as well. And especially the coffee 81, we get quite a lot of people using it for like espresso martini flips and riffs, because it has got a bit more coffee to it.
The finish is totally different. The finish is it's almost sort of getting rid of that sort of Jamaican vibe, that funk that's going on there. It's kind of like more coffee in your mouth. And I'm just going to be totally honest here. After drinking that, it is a bit watery. But it's still 40. It's still over 40% rum. So don't think it's not. It's just when you come down from a higher ABV to that.
100% right. Yeah. But we had a lot of people asking for it. The market kind of was talking to us and saying, we love this stuff, but is there any way that we can get it just a little bit lower ABV, so that I can bang that 40% dark age rum just in my speed rail, and I know I can use it all day. And that was kind of where we sat.
That's actually, now that I've tasted it neat, that's maybe more suited in my head to the whole coffee and tonic thing, because I don't think the coffee is going to get lost with that, if you know what I mean. It's
for sure.
I don't know. I'd have to play with that, but I totally get the market for it. It's very abnormal people like me that have got into like higher ABV stuff, and I don't class myself in the 5% at all. I am still very much, the fun and fruity palate. I love that sort of stuff. But it's just something about 50-ish% for me. Even I noticed the difference on 43%, to be fair. That little, just that tiny, but So we don't need to talk too much about these, because we've
talked a lot about those in
we are going. I think it's right. We're going to do the banana last, aren't we?
Yeah.
What's the flipping hell are these? Hang on, right? I'm going to zoom right in. If you are listening to this, because I know a lot of people listen in the background, literally flick your camera on right now, because I'm going to hold these close up on the camera. So that's the first one. What's that called? Rum's cool. So
Rumscal.
Rum and mezcal, right? Max going to explain this.
Yep.
And hang on, there we go. Rum rye. So American rye, and What? Let's come back out. What? Who?
Okay.
This is your playful side coming out, I'm thinking here.
Yeah, for real,
So
right?
which one are we starting with?
So I like to start with the rum rye,
So
purely because it came first, really.
what's the thought process behind it? How
But
did you get to? I know. Let's combine a rum with a rye. What's all that about? Come on.
it was like we want to do different things in the rum sector. That's the first thing. We've got this thing within our brand identity is that we bridge worlds, we bridge categories, we bridge flavors, but it's all based off rum. So to want to play around in the rum category and to be really innovative and try and do things that others have never done before, we were like, let's blend some stuff. And we were also getting inspired by, and it may be a bit niche still, but we love it, split base cocktails. So like splitting a base of a cocktail. So when you were talking about Mai Tais, my head was screaming, right tie, right tie, right tie.
I know I'm off camera a bit, but I'm just going to bring that up on screen. You know, Beach Bum Berry, Smuggler's Cove, all those the amount of tiki cocktails that call for a rye or a bourbon alongside a rum. You know, that is a genius product. I have to say, that is a genius product.
Yeah. So the thing is, right, there's before the thought of like blending or you know split basing blending a product is the reality that there's that rye and rum have a history in terms of like rum was heavily taxed, right? So the kind of the molasses tax and the taxation in rum led to the rise of 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 rye whiskey and of that kind of era of rye and making whiskey in the hills in bathtubs and stuff like that. So like there's a period in time where these two guys meet, rum and rye kind of come together and make a thing, and so there is a history between the two spirits, and what we wanted to do was kind of bring these together, bridge these two things, and make something different that nobody's done before. So we started out by saying, right, we are gonna blend rye and our dark aged rum. That is what we are gonna do. We're gonna put these two spirits involved. How are we gonna do that? We'll start by doing it 50-50. We'll put 50% rye and 50% rum, 100% straight rye whiskey, and we'll see where that leaves us off. So like that was the start point. And we put those two together and we were like, that tastes quite good. That tastes quite interesting. And then from that point, we farted around with it way more. So we were like, right, what happens if we put more rum in it? What happens if we put more rye in it? What happens? Bah, 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 bah. And then we realized that actually the first thing that we did, the 50-50 balanced right, it was the thing that kind of it kind of it worked for us in terms of what we wanted to try and do was take some of the lovely things that we have in rye. So you smell that spiciness that rye gives you, but you get that softened out and you get that fruity level that our rum gives you as well. So you have this kind of happy marriage of flavors that it isn't rum and it isn't rye whiskey. And we're 100% sure that people aren't going to like it. But actually, we've just made a product that we really enjoy.
I really like this. This is the first time I've tried this. This is this. I get you. Look, I know it. I know it's not for everyone. It doesn't taste like rum. It doesn't taste like rye whiskey. But there's.
I'm just going to turn the light on.
Can you turn the light off? On. Oh, it's getting dark. Oh, there we go. We've got mood lighting. Look at that. Can you amuse?
You can see me a bit more.
Can you amuse me for a second? I'm not sure. I can edit this out if you get all cross. Is there any dosage in that at all? Is there any sugar added? No.
Nothing.
That is amazing, because there is this lovely kind of sweetness to it. It's like I'm kind of getting like honey. I'm kind of getting there's just like this lovely kind of finish to it. This silky sweet. Not look. I don't want to go down the look. Forgive me. We're not going bamboo sweetness. We're not going diplomatico or anything like that sweetness. There's just this lovely kind of finish to it. That's delicious.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing where when we're talking about wanting to take some of the lovely qualities from rye, and rye has this wonderfully spicy sweetness to it, and also the fruity Jamaican elements of our rum, they have wonderful sweetness to it too. So you're absolutely right to say it isn't rum, it isn't whiskey. It's and I can tell you, like if we were ever to talk to somebody who cared how their shelves were set out in a shop, they would just laugh us out the door, because it doesn't sit in category at all. But what we've tried to do is make a split base product that actually, if a bartender was like, right, on menu this time around we're having a split base drink, and we can consistently do this with rum rye. So if you want to make a rye tie, like you're saying, with zero prep beforehand, you can do that with this product.
I love that, because I'm not a hugest, and I've told this story a couple of times, but I don't have huge experience with bourbon or rye at all. But I got invited over COVID, over lockdown. I got invited onto Michter's, but I think they're rye. I think they're all rye, aren't they? Michter's. I don't know. Anyway, an American whiskey. My knowledge of American whiskey is minimal.
Right.
And I was just I've had a few whiskeys. I was like, I had this Michter's, and it was just lovely. And I was just like, wow, that's actually really, really good. Now, the point I'm trying to make for this is that this kind of reminds me of that. I've got this. It's a very different to a barrel aged peppery tingle, spice tingle over the top of your tongue. It's like very different, but you've got this lovely kind of playful, spicy thing going over the top of your tongue. It's really lovely. I like that a lot. I really do. It's still 50% ABV, so 100 proof. That is bonkers. Yeah. That is absolutely bonkers. I love that.
And that's what. So when I've taken it out to shows and we've talked to people about it, yeah. What I introduce it and I say to people is, I just want you to try something now. I don't want you to think about what it is. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I just want you to try something and be open to what you're about to taste. Because when they taste it and you go, that's a really interesting flavor and it's really quite nice. Some people don't like it, and that's cool. Lots of people don't like lots of things, but that's not the point. But like when you just open it out as just try this and see what you think. People try it and they go, that's interesting. What is it? They may say, that's interesting. I don't like it. But they may say, that's interesting. That's really different. I quite like that. And then we can talk about it and we can get into the crux of what that is. But actually, nobody's bottling a product like this. And it's interesting. It's different. And one of the biggest things for our brand and what we want to do going forward and what we're talking about in the other SKUs is doing things differently and not doing the stuff that everybody else is doing. So actually blending a product, trying to get that wonderful balance right, and then bottling it. That's where we're at. And it's yummy. I quite like it.
Crazy. I've just had a bigger, I wouldn't say a gulp, but a bigger sip, right? Just to finish your glass. That you can tell, right? So basically, I've got those two still there, which I still really like. That's finished. But I just had a bigger sip to finish it, and you do definitely get that sort of Jamaican, still that banana-y kind of vibe come off there, but you get I'm struggling to explain it. That's just nuts. Big fan of that.
And and it does make you think, and that's nice, and I like that. So when we first launched it, when I was tasting it with friends, they were like, "What is that? That's wild! Like, what have you pulled out here? Like, I don't get this or whatever." And that's cool. But yeah, if you just open to it, and you like, if you want to discover things and find different things and be intrigued with things, that's the thing to go and discover and be intrigued.
This is the thing I love as well, because yes, I do like my neat rums, and long COVID and all that, I couldn't have sugar, and I just went off mixed drinks and cocktails and that. So I very much got into neat rum, and I love my neat rum. But at heart, I'm still a bartender, and I still love playing. And my little brain is going 19 to the dozen now about what to do with that and how to kind of just simple highballs. It's just like, I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with that. A lot of fun. That's the right.
Send us anything you think's cool,
because I'm not a hugest mezcal fan at all. I generically find them too smoky. If I'm honest, I don't do smoky. Actually, that's a lie. What I found is that I don't do peaty stuff. Smoke, I'm not too bad with, but inherently there. So again, all I've done is I haven't tried this yet. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So the Rumscal, right? We wanted to split base again. We wanted to play with the concept of blending rum with stuff. That's
you can see again.
The one.
There we go. So there we go. 33.
Yeah. So the percentage is slightly different. We've got 66%, 66 point something rum and 33 point something mezcal that makes our 100. But yeah, we wanted to play with the concept of what these two fantastic products, what wonderful things do they have together, right? And one thing that we know mezcal has is a wonderful smoky quality. So you get that, but it also has a wonderful sweetness to it as well.
This is crazy.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God. What is going on with that? So hang on. So where are we? 33% mezcal, 66. So not 33% ABV, but that bottle is 33% of it is mezcal, 66% of it is right. I'm going in. I've had a little smell.
Yeah, go. You smell, you taste, you tell me. I'll go in after.
Wow, that is delicious as well. Oh my word! Wow. That way more, obviously, because there's the majority of it's 2/3 of that is rum. Way more of that rum element coming through there. But there's that lovely sort of playful up front. There's that lovely playful sort of mezcal tequila vibes coming off for me. I'd say, it's coming back a bit now. I was going to say it's definitely a rum finish. That's a journey if ever I had one. That's nuts.
That's nice to hear.
Oh my God. That's like margaritas on a different level and stuff like that. Daiquiris on a different level.
Yeah, it's good in a daiquiri. This is really cool in a daiquiri.
That is, I don't know how else to describe it. I'm struggling for words. Again, it's got this honey kind of honey up front a little bit. The one thing I love about this is like a lot, and again, this is testament to you guys that like building this brand. It's so easy to go down the route of 37.5, 40% ABV. That is so easy to do that. But I like what you said at the start. When it comes to bartenders and people like me, we do generically want a little bit higher ABV so the flavors don't get lost in cocktails, especially when we're making simple cocktails. And I love the fact, all right, you've done the original two in a lower ABV as well. But I love the fact all these are up in the 50%. Right, this is 49.5. This is...
Yeah.
And let's just iterate. What did you say at the start? Because I don't think this was in. It's a worldwide product. You're in the US. You're around Europe. You're what did you say? 17 markets. Did you say?
No, 70,
Seven,
70
seven
plus,
zero.
70.
Wow.
Yeah.
70 countries, 17 markets around the world. Don't you come moaning to me that you can't get it at home. I know a lot of you can't get that here, especially a few of you in Germany and Belgium and Canada and that sort of places. That is, I don't know how to describe it. It's on the nose, unmistakably mezcal for me, or that sort of smoky,
Yeah.
smoky sort of agave kind of plant. I'd go because of
Yeah.
the smokiness to it. I'd probably go mezcal over tequila. That's my limited knowledge, but that's it on the nose.
Yeah.
But on the taste, it's very different on the taste.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I could drink that neat. I seriously could drink that neat, and I'm going daiquiris. I'm just trying to think simple mixes. I need to do a Sunday night sort of rum show thing, just having a play with these mixes. I think that could be next week.
Like, definitely make yourself a
Yeah.
daiquiri with it. But or a daiquiri, what we've been doing, or what I've been doing, is using lemon instead of lime as the citrus.
I could get that. I could get that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, as well, I was very fortunate to have a taste of Mari Brizard. Not Mari Brizard. Sorry, Alex. Maison France. What do you call it? Yuzu Curacao. So not the dry. They're basically not the dry orange. They've got a yuzu Curacao. Now my whole point to that, there's something about that's when you said that lemon, my head was thinking that sort of yuzu, because if you tasted that yuzu Curacao, you will know exactly what I mean with that. It's got that sort of bright, citrusy, zesty kind of thing. I think that would make a great kind of daiquiri riff with that. I really do.
That's awesome. Like these are the things and I think I'm having an incredible time talking to you about these, because these are the kind of conversations that we want to have when we talk to people. Do you know when you're like, the ideal world, when you just walk into somewhere and you want to get really excited about making drinks and talking to bartenders about making drinks and how you could fart around with the flavors that you're getting from it and make something interesting. And that's all we're doing, is trying to make things that bartenders want to play around with, and then hopefully everybody else likes.
This is what people don't comprehend about. And just to go off on a little tangent here, I'm going to say the sort of the rum community as a whole. There's a lot of neat rum drinkers. I totally get it, and I'm one. I love neat rum, but there's a huge market of people like me, bartenders like me, rum people that have, they're all right. They might like rum and coke, rum and ginger beer, but do like to get a bit inquisitive. But for what I love is simple kind of mixes and putting that in front of someone. What do you think of that? That is when I'm in my element. Someone else kind of, that's tasty. What's that? When we find products, this is why I'm getting quite excited about it. When we find products like this, that we can create something different, that's not the same old unaged rum or, 5-year-old rum or something. When we've got something like this, just to kind of play with, still within our passion, rum is my passion. Yeah, I'm falling in love with this brand. This is awesome. I'm loving this.
Yeah, and like, just think about like, and that's where we're at. It's like playing around and having immense fun on a scale where hopefully other people will love it, and that's what we're trying to do. That's it.
What a brand ethos that is. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, we enjoy it anyway.
Right, come on in. I have tasted this because I've got my little pin and everything at home. I had this at Manchester Rum Fest.
Good.
This, boys and girls, let me do the little zoomy while Max is pouring it himself. There we go. This is Ron. I can't. Why can't I roll my R's?
Colon.
Yeah, I can't roll my R's. Ron Colon Red Banana. What's the oleo? Oleo sac? Is that a nod to oleo saccharum? What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's in so just to give you a foundation and a real quick background. Banana, we have been banana. I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it. We've been bananas about bananas since we started out, right? So when you're talking about launching a brand and all that kind of stuff, what you do is you get your product and you're really proud of that product, and what you have to do is you have to build the story around it, but also what you have to do is create a heap of interesting serves that you're gonna go to market with. You're gonna go and say, hey, this is my rum, and I really enjoy making a banana old fashioned with my rum, or I really enjoy making a coffee Negroni with my rum, or whatever. So as part of the inception and as part of the start of the brand, when we were at Jag's Head Coffee, lining the coffee fields in El Salvador are these wonderful red banana trees, and they do wonderful things. They offer protection to the coffee as it grows. They offer shade to the coffee as it grows. But a red banana is a real thing.
Really?
It's an actual thing. Yeah, man. And if you're thinking about like a yellow banana here and a plantain in here, we're somewhere in the middle. So we've got that sweetness, but that earthiness that those two products offer out of a red banana. So bananas were a red banana was at the start of our journey when we were in El Salvador. When we launched the product, we launched with an old fashioned with the high proof blue label, and we made an oleo saccharum. So we made a banana oleo with, you know, the drill: banana skins, sugar, in a bag, equal parts, let it do its thing, makes sweet banana-y nectar. So that's always been a part of us. It's just always been there. So ever since, probably after about a year in, Pepin has been playing around with banana to try and make a banana rum product. The issue with that, and with our brand ethos as well, of creating a truly fantastic, natural something that a bartender would want to drink, rum and banana, is that banana's a nightmare to deal with when it comes to putting it in a product. It's absolutely hard work. And so we went through process after process of different, like, Pepin's fridge at points looked like a flipping laboratory of different banana ways and mixes of playing around with banana. So the reality was, banana's a nightmare, and we were desperate to make a banana product, desperate, because, and we wanted it to be red banana because that was part of our brand. Banana is part of our DNA. And so we struggled and we worked hard to try and figure out a way of doing that fitted within our ethos. And we eventually kind of got there, and we found a way to do it. And the way that we did that was we actually take organic red bananas and we split those red bananas, flesh and skin. And then what we do is, with our skin, we bosh that with sugar, and we make our saccharum, our oleo saccharum. So that sits here. We then take our blue label rum blend, and we make that up into two macerations. And what we do is we steep our flesh with our rum, we filter half of that batch, and then we redistill in copper pot stills the other half. So what we then do is, and what we're trying to do out of that is get the lovely candied banana flavors from the rum in the redistillation. So what we then do is we take the refiltered rum that's just sat in the banana, we take the redistillation, and we take the syrup, the sugar element, and we blend those three elements together, and that's what we have. We have a banana aleo rum.
That is just flipping
But
delicious. That is. It's just the fun, isn't it? It's just that fun drink. There's nothing, it's not in geek territory. It's not trying to play there. It very much knows its market, and that is just a phenomenal spirit in that market. No one's going to drink that and go, "Oh, I don't like that. It's a bit fake or whatever." That is just. It's just
100%.
It's just. Do you know what? My even little head, right? Is bartenders like me, right? We go down the route of. Hang on, where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. We go down the route of having like banana liqueurs, like that, like Giffard or Boudier or Patron, right?
Yeah.
And then actually, when you've got well, it's not a liqueur, it's 40%, 40.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to do that same job, that same level of flavour. That's just bonkers. That's lovely. That is really.
And I'm going to just pinch just a little bit there in terms of one of our biggest things with this rum was that not a banana flavour, be it natural or synthetic, will touch this product. It is an all natural product. So there is no flavouring to this. And I have had some people, when I've tasted it, go, "Oh, it's not that banana-y." But when you talk about actually eating a banana and the flavour of banana, what you're truly getting is a heap of sweetness. You're getting a lot of sweetness from that fruit. The problem there is that actually when people are talking about the banana, they're talking about banana flavored things. They're talking about the banana flavored sweets that they've had, and that's the real crux to it, is that there is a subtle, wonderful balance, I think anyway, of fantastic banana flavor in it and sweetness that matches that and is balanced by the rum within it as well.
I mean, the thing I'll add into that is the big thing, like especially in the UK with strawberries. We are known for our British strawberries. In like it's 6 weeks of the year, we kind of get real ripe strawberries. But people will have a strawberry syrup, they'll have a strawberry puree or a strawberry liqueur or something like that, and they'll be used to that flavour of strawberry. But what they don't comprehend is the amount of sugar or fake flavouring that's gone into that. So when they have a real strawberry, it's like, I don't taste the same. It is that sugar just amplifies what a natural thing is. But if you know what that natural thing tastes like, then you're on that sort of wavelength, if you know what I mean. But this is just, I love this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I also, on the back, I get like a little kind of raspberry-ish tinge of flavour, and that's out of the red banana. Red banana has this kind of little raspberry play to it, and you get that out the back of this.
Totally.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Totally agree with that. It's not on the sip. It's on that back. The finish. It's on that back palate. It just comes out as soon as it goes over the bridge of your tongue. It sort of comes out in the back there.
Yeah, and we just wanted to make a product. I mean, like, this is on every bottle that we sell right now. It's a banana with sunglasses on a pin. So if you buy a bottle, you get like we just want to have fun. Like it's just our little bit of fun, but actually really seriously sticking to our brand values, which is we want to create fantastic rum, natural rum that's delicious, and we just hope people love it and enjoy it. And that's the fun of it.
There needs to be way more brands like you, because I got your sense of fun like in Manchester last year. I kind of got it, and it was that's where that Salvadoreno, that Ron Colon come out, the 55. And it's just this brand that, it's too much kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Too much kind of, oh, this rum is better than this rum, and that's better than that, and you can't have that. For the likes of me, for like the 95% of the market that buy rum, it's all about having fun, playful drinks. Not necessarily cocktails, but mixers, playful drinks, that sort of stuff. But if you can couple that with doing rum properly, I think you're onto a winner there. I really do. I genuinely love. All I was skeptical about the rumskull and the rum riot. I was really skeptical because they're not my things. But actually, do you know what? They are flipping delicious. Really, really good. You're going to be seeing a lot of mixes of these, a lot of highballs coming up over the next few months with these.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Oh, Max, my friend, look, we've been chatting for ages here, mate. I'm going to let you go.
I know. No,
don't
sorry.
apologise. This has been brilliant. Thank you so much for sending these through, but B, spending your time with us this morning. This evening. We're both in the same country.
Whenever.
Yeah. Is there anything you kind of, what would you like people to do? Follow you on social media. We'll do that. The whole Instagram stuff. We'll do that. Buy a bottle. Pester their local bar, because I sense you're going down the whole trade route. People can buy this on Master of Malt and various other places. I always shout out Master of Malt, but I'm sensing you guys personally are going down more of a trade route. Yeah, you kind of.
Yeah, go buy it off Master of Malt. They're a wonderful partner of ours, and we love them and everything that they do, and we support them wholeheartedly because they're a fantastic supplier of booze to the trade and to everybody else. So go buy a bottle, go leave a review on Amazon, just go swing into a bar and say, have you got a good banana rum? Put it on the map. We just want to have, that's it. We just want people to drink wonderful things, and we hope that they like ours.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
And follow us on social media.
We'll do that. Nice. I'm going to put you on the spot. One final question. If you could only pick, I'm going to take those two out of the equation. There's nothing wrong with those two, by the way. That's the 40.5%. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with those two. I'm going to put you on the spot. You can only pick one out of those five. Which one are you going for? It's like picking between your babies.
Steve, it's like a knife. If I'm really honest, it's 111 Blue.
Yeah, the OG.
Like the heart of us, the place where it started is all in 111 Blue. It's just fantastic. I think that what I would like surround that with is that is my rum, but the journey that we've been on to create that is phenomenal, because we've been talking about bananas since 2019, and we've just wanted to do it right for so long. So to get it to a point where we're really proud of it and it's in a bottle and it's there is just mad. But I need this.
Actually,
this is my heart. This is where
there is another question. Have you got anything else on the horizon? Any other? Have you got like an overproof banana or something? Are there any other plans, or are we sticking with 7? Bearing in mind this is 23, so you're less than 4 years old and you've got 7 rums. Are we holding there for a bit, or yeah? I think that's the right thing.
I mean, I would quite like to hold here for a minute, Steve. I just, if we can pump the brakes and just relax here, that would be wonderful. I think the enjoyment that I get from this is that you can never be really that sure if it is the end of it. We talk about stuff, and every now and again you then worry that it might actually happen. So, I would prefix it with
just
that.
Very, very finally, and then we'll let you go. Is the next show that you're doing in BCB? So for all is that So for
Yes.
those, I mean, there's quite a lot of English and French and like all over Europe go to BCB in Berlin. There is, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of. I say when I say English, let's say British. There's quite a lot of British contingent go over to BCB. It's huge.
Yeah.
So if you want to try these and chat to the guys, reach out to
Yeah.
them. But I'm sure you will see these guys very soon at other places as well. So Max, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending me these rums. I'll repay this and plenty with like cocktail inspiration. They're coming up over the next few months or so. I can't wait to get stuck in with these, especially this rum's cool and where it's gone. Yeah, I can't wait to play with those. They're going to be crazy. Anyway, I will
just have the most fun.
I will
Thank you
end
so
that
much.
recording. Thank you very much, mate, and we will see you all again very soon.